Hey everyone, welcome back to GT Boxing. Anthony Joshua, the man who started a new era in British boxing. The 2012 Olympic champion, a symbol of discipline, strength, and confidence. He was the embodiment of the perfect champion. Flawless in appearance, physically sculpted, articulate and inspiring, capable of losing with dignity and winning with style. But behind that polished image lies a complex story. The story of a man who may have never truly found balance between being a fighter and being a brand. Today, more than a decade after his triumph, Joshua remains a mystery. Is he a real champion? Or a carefully crafted product, designed to fit the industry's expectations? Before we start, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Now, let's begin. Everything started like a fairy tale. Joshua stormed into the professional ranks like a force of nature. One knockout after another. The O2 Arena roared with excitement as his punches sent opponents into the void. In 2016, he became a world champion. And just a year later, he delivered one of the most dramatic fights of the decade against Vladimir Klitschko. That night, Joshua showed everything people loved about him: courage, power, and heart. He went down, got up, and conquered. That was the moment when Britain believed the new king of boxing had arrived. But then came the night nobody saw coming. In 2019, in New York, Anthony Joshua's world fell apart. Andy Ruiz Jr. The fight that was supposed to be an easy showcase turned into humiliation. Joshua was dropped 4 times and stopped. The boxing world froze in disbelief. How could a man built like a Greek god lose to a fighter mocked as the chubby guy from California? That night was more than just a defeat. It was a crack in his psyche. After Ruiz, Joshua was never the same. He became cautious, even timid. He reclaimed his titles in the rematch, but safely, without risk. He was no longer the Joshua who would walk through fire. He became analytical, too analytical for a man who once thrived on instinct and chaos. Psychological instability became his toughest opponent. Joshua is not weak, he's smart, disciplined, and exceptionally trained. But when a fight drifts off script, he freezes between survive and take the risk. Sometimes he loses focus, as if he doesn't trust his own instincts anymore. Since the Ruiz fight, his eyes in the ring have changed. Less fire, more calculation. Less fury, more control. It's as if he's afraid of his former self. This became painfully clear in his battles with Alexander Usyk. The Ukrainian didn't just beat Joshua, he dissected him. In the first fight, Anthony looked lost, unsure how to deal with Usyk's movement and rhythm. He couldn't adapt. He didn't try to seize the fight. He tried to understand why it was slipping away. In the rematch, he was better, but again couldn't push through the pain. When Usyk took over the final rounds, Joshua collapsed emotionally. His outburst after the fight, the tears, the shouting, the confusion, wasn't disrespect. It was a man breaking down under the weight of his own expectations. He didn't lose physically, he lost mentally. And yet, despite all that, Joshua remains one of the most dangerous heavyweights in the world. Look at his recent wins. He destroyed Robert Helenius with a single shot. He dismantled Otto Wallin with cold precision, as if following a blueprint. He crushed Francis Ngannou in minutes, showcasing perfect timing and predatory confidence. On nights like these, Joshua looks like a machine, composed, ruthless, unstoppable. But that version of him isn't always there. The moment chaos returns, he disappears. The loss to Daniel Dubois was another turning point. Joshua was in control, boxing smartly, until he got caught. One punch and the lights went out. No resistance, no fury, no die-trying instinct. It was as if someone flipped a switch and the fight was over. That night made one thing undeniable. His problem isn't physical, and it isn't technical. It's mental. When he's dictating the pace, he's lethal. When he's forced to react, he unravels. That's the paradox of Anthony Joshua. At times, he looks like a near-perfect professional who could beat anyone. And at others, like a man trapped inside his own fears. He can look majestic, like against Wallin, and lifeless, like against Ruiz, or in moments versus Usyk. His mind is a battlefield. One side is a predator, the other a thinker. Whichever one wins inside will decide what kind of legacy Joshua leaves behind. Today, his career stands at a crossroads. He's still young for a heavyweight. He can still return to the top. But to do that, he must conquer something far greater than any opponent, himself. He must defeat doubt, defeat the fear of imperfection, defeat that inner voice whispering, "You're not the man you used to be." If he can do that, he'll become a champion again, not for money or fame, but to prove that spirit outweighs image. But if he can't, his story will remain a lesson, that greatness can be fragile when insecurity lives within. Anthony Joshua is not a fake. He's real. Too real. So real that his human flaws bleed through the armor of a champion. He's not a myth, not a marketing product, but a man still searching for balance between glory and fear. And maybe that's what makes him unique. Because unlike the legends of the past, Joshua isn't a superhero. He's human. A man still fighting to find himself inside a ring where there's no script, no protection, only punches, truth, and the price of every mistake. So what do you think? Is AJ still an elite fighter, or just a good boxer whose achievements are often overstated? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive GT boxing stories. See you next time.